Hot Corner, let's Shohei Ohtani is going to throw a bullpen on Saturday, according to manager Dave Roberts. It's going to be the first time he's throwing off a mound since February 25th. AJ, that was a month ago.
Agreed. Hold on. Before we get into this, I know not everyone got to see what we talked about in between. We talked about Corbin Burnes being the fifth starter. You know his first start comes in Yankee Stadium. Maybe there was more to it than we knew. His first start is in Yankee Stadium, not in Arizona. Again, I'm not saying that they didn't, but, not bad to have your fifth starter going up in first game in Yankee Stadium. Just saying, maybe it wasn't as unintentional as we thought. But anyways, yes, this to me is Shohei, because you know what? I don't care about Shohei throwing a bullpen. Whoop-de-doo, let me know when he's back on a mound throwing for real, because this is going to be the Juan Soto. Hey, look, Shohei picked up a baseball today and threw it with his right arm. Oh my God, we got to do a breakout session on it. Clinton, Alana got to talk about this for 30 minutes because Shohei threw 7 balls from 90 feet. Don't care. Let me know when he gets on a mound, he's facing hitters. Thank you. Talk about your mound.
Hang on. I'm pulling up a tweet that says, I just shook Shohei Ohtani's hand. And that tweet was from AJ Przinsky. So
did I actually tweet that? I don't think I actually tweeted that. I said it, and then I said, who wants to buy my hand? Because I touched Shohei and Roki's hand at the same time. So no, I didn't tweet that because, listen, Shohei was just like a normal folk. He was sitting there eating his bacon and eggs in his locker, smiling. Mookie's over there. I'm trying not to get sick from Mookie. It's just like a day before they left for Japan. So, then I see Roki and Yamamoto was pitching that day. I mean, making the rounds with the lawn. You guys should try it.
Shohei's still throwing. People need to make sure they don't freak out. He did not throw from February. He has still been throwing. He just hasn't gotten off the mound. It's progression that everybody takes. It's going to be difficult. We talked about it with Jeff Passan earlier. I don't know. AJ said it. He can't go to Oklahoma City and rehab. Position players, I don't think they necessarily need to rehab. A pitcher coming back from Tommy John surgery needs to rehab. Guys, check the schedule. The Marlins are sending some of our Renta people over to Dodger Stadium to face Shohei at 1:30. Oh, yeah, and Shohei's going to be a little tired from that. He's still going to DH that night. I don't envy that for the Dodgers staff at all because he can't go and rehab, and he has to build his pitch count up if he's actually going to be a starter.
He is going to be a starter, you guys, with your conspiracy theories.
He has to be a starter because that's the only way they can guarantee he's going to get in the game.
Yeah.
So he has to start. Like this whole conspiracy that he's going to be a closer, he has to be a starter because you can't bring him in the ninth inning and be like, hey, Shohei, I'm pitching 2 years, go close out a game that could be meaningful. He has to be a starter because then you have to have somebody to piggyback him. Now, who do you pick to piggyback him? Snell, Yamamoto, Sasaki, May, Glasnow,
Gonsolin.
So many choices.
Knack, Bobby Miller. Who do you pick to be the piggyback guy? Because someone's going to have to piggyback him. That's the question. But you're going to have a starter piggyback him to get some length, unless you're going with a 6-man rotation, 7-man rotation.
Ohtani's going to pitch. It'll probably not be until about halfway through the season. They are not expecting or needing 150 plus innings out of him. I think even 100 might be a stretch at this point. They'd like him to be in a good groove heading into the playoffs where then he can pitch and hit if it's all working out for him. What I did learn from this conversation is that we should do some type of segment with 80s music called When Will He Pitch? And keep doing Ohtani updates every time we get one morsel of an update about the situation. I actually genuinely am interested in this topic because of the uniqueness of it. I don't care about most rehab processes because you just want to know when the guy's coming back, so I want the timetable. But with this one, I am actually curious because you don't have a previous playbook. So we'll keep that in mind. We'll try to get to something that AJ's much more interested in. So let's do power rankings.
Power rankings, yeah. I mean, come on. Next, we're going to talk about where Juan Soto will go again. I shook his hand.
Season as a DH. What do we expect from him this year, especially as far as the pitching situation? I know you've written a book about pitching and obviously the arm problem we have in Major League Baseball. I don't want to forget how much he's actually had to go under the knife for the arm, still perform with the bat, and then figure out how the Dodgers are going to make sure that he can pitch for them but not sacrifice the bat. So have you learned anything in the spring training time period about how do you think they're going to play this out with him?
I wish I could take the experience that I had from reporting the arm and apply it to Ohtani, but he's such a unique scenario. I think the Dodgers are, they're just sort of winging it. And that's not to suggest they're being flip about how they're approaching it with him. I just think there's no playbook. Like, because Ohtani bats, and because this is his second, major elbow reconstruction, and because he's been shut down for 30-something days in between the last time he pitched and his forthcoming bullpen, he's essentially going to have to build back up. And it's a weird roller coaster that he's been on. The Dodgers have so much depth, though, guys, that there's just no rush to get him back. I think Dave Roberts said it like, what's important is that we have him ready for October. And that's the way the Dodgers approach just about everything. If you want to say, like, what's the advantage that the Dodgers have, part of it is that Andrew Friedman, very early on in his career, understood the advantage of depth and roster construction. And what he's been able to supercharge with the Dodgers is the amount of depth that they have. And part of that is because they've done such a great job of building up arms in their farm system. The number of non-first round picks who turn into big league arms for the Dodgers is exceptional. Like, they're just really good at pitching development. They haven't been as good at keeping them healthy, but just in terms of developing like quality big league arms, they've been fantastic. And so they have a lot of runway with Ohtani. They don't need to rush anything back. But what people who work with Shohei Ohtani have learned is that he will tell you, like, he's going to serve as the barometer. The medical staff is going to help him along the way and be there to support him and give him thoughts and ideas. But in the end, what Ohtani's body is telling him is what he follows. And the fact that he's managed to do this two-way thing, guys, as long as he has and be as successful as he has, shows the great relationship that he has with knowing how his body is feeling and knowing what it needs. There are a lot of guys out there, a lot of guys who play, who just don't ever understand their body well enough to maximize it. I think that's maybe Shohei Ohtani's superpower, that he gets what he needs and can figure out how to get to the place where he's going to perform the best.
All right, Jeff, before we let you go, I got two things for you. One, I want to know how Shohei's going to rehab, because it's impossible because he has to DH. So when you figure that one out, you can write another book on it, because the Dodgers, I don't think, know how. You can't send him to Oklahoma City to pitch 5 innings and then catch the Concorde to fly back to LA to DH that night. So that's going to be what's fascinating to me.
Sim games. It's just going to be, that's all you can do. It's not ideal, but you're exactly right. You can't send him out for minor league rehab start. So that's the interesting part about Ohtani. Everything he does is different than everybody else, because that singular thing he's trying to do, played both ways, is different from everyone else.